Yeah, camp went really well. Really got out of it with, healthy, which is the a really good thing for us, obviously, and had some battles positionally. Even though we are a senior-laden team and a lot of guys returned, but we still had to figure some things out with putting some new people in there. So, but all in all, it went well, and really need to get ready for this week and the opponent we got, and excited to do that.
It seems like this season there's kind of a little bit higher expectations for the Bison than we kind of had in years past. I know as coaches you always have high expectations, but preseason ranked third in the conference. Got a lot of seniors, a lot of juniors returning on the depth chart. Talk about what those expectations have kind of done for the team and how you see them as well as a coach.
Yeah, I think it's obviously fantastic for the program and has, I guess, proved us, we said it a little bit last year of, the success makes you know that you're doing the right thing in the program in the years past, and it's been a long time. I'm going on 11 years here of this, quote-unquote rebuilding process that started with Tim Weaver. And it's just, we were on the right track. We, underachieved probably a few years there in the middle of it, and I thought we should have had some better years. But again, with the preseason ranking and all that, which, is nice, doesn't mean that much, but nice. It's our players are approaching it like that. I think we know we're a good football team, and that expectation is there, which I think helps us day in and day out, coming to practice, working hard, and doing the things you need to do day in and day out in a football program to be successful.
14 seniors on the depth chart for week one.
Quite a bit.
Talk about what having that experience is going to do for the program as the season progresses.
Well, I think what it does in that group, they played a lot of football. They started out as young players and played a whole bunch. So I think, in those times when adversity hits, I think, it should be a fairly smooth transition and process when that adversity hits in a football game, which it will. No question. It happens every single game, and we got to be able to handle it. And with as many returners and seniors and that leadership that we have on this roster right now, I think, that's the biggest part of it, of handling that adversity week in and week out when it happens. And you never know when it's going to happen, but it's going to at some point in time in every single game.
One of those seniors is quarterback Lincoln Reyes. Hasn't really had a whole lot of statistics as far as the first 3 years he's been here. What have you seen out of him in camp as kind of basically a newcomer to the offense, and how is having a veteran-laden group on the offensive side of the ball, when you talk about Eric Blinn, you talk about 5 offensive linemen starters, how is that going to help him kind of ease into this role of being the signal caller?
Yeah, he had a great camp, and Lincoln's been, quite frankly, kind of been sitting around waiting his turn for sure. And he jumped into that role in camp and really competed hard and was ready to go from day one and had a great camp, and we're expecting very, very good things from him. And obviously with all those guys returning on offense up front, and with Eric Blinn and Tyler Ambush and Jalen Holmes, it just should ease the pressure on him, because we have guys who can make plays. We should hopefully be able to block people consistently, with those 5 guys up front that played a lot of football for us. And we think we added a lot of depth there in the O-line wise, quality depth in the freshman recruiting class. So I think it's just should make that transition for him, certainly early on in the season, where he's really trying to, get his feet wet, for lack of a better term, and being able to lean on all those returners should help him.
Let's switch sides, talk about the defensive side. I mean, you've got returning AFC All-American Nadeem Radar on the defensive line, but really a lot of experience on that defensive side of the ball as well, from a team that really took a lot of great strides in 2014. Talk about your defense and Nadeem and your veteran-laden roster on that side of the ball.
Yeah, they're a good group now. There's no question, probably the best group we've had here in my tenure. Obviously led by Nadeem as our guy on the defense, but it's, there's a ton of other people as well that played a ton of football for us and who are dynamic football players, and Larry and Donovan and Fry and Dion, all those guys have played for us a long time and made plays, and certainly that group came into their own, no question, a year ago. And then up front, where it starts, having Eric Campbell up the middle in there, with the additions of, 2 young guys that just came into the program and will be first-year starters for us, we're really expecting big things from this group. It is who we are. We are a good defensive football team and expect to play good defense, and the defense is going to win us games this year. There's no question about it.
Let's put preseason aside and talk about week 1 you got coming up. You got Mount Union on Saturday. Talk about what you know about the Purple Raiders, what you've seen on film, what you saw against them last year,
Yep.
and just talk about what it kind of does for the program of playing a team that's been there and been through it a lot. What do you know about the Purple Raiders?
We know they're good. That's for sure. That's the easy one. We know they're a very, very talented football team, and like us, really, they return a lot of guys. They really do, off of a team that went to a national championship. So, they got to replace a quarterback, and they return more guys on defense than they do on offense, and they got to replace some guys on offense there. But those guys are all good football players. They're probably the best Division III program in the last 20 some odd years, like we said last year. And we're excited to play them. We're approaching it the same way. We're talking about just being us and playing our game and controlling the things we can control. When you play really, really good teams that are nationally ranked, they're nationally ranked number 2, depending on who you talk to, sometimes 1. And just controlling what we can control, which is our focus and effort. And that's what we want to control, and play with great focus and effort, and let it roll.
Mount Union returns preseason All-American Roman Namdar to the wide receiving core. Guys kind of new on the cornerback positions. Mm-hmm. Talk about, how do you slow down the offensive prowess that they kind of have, especially in the passing game, even though they do have a new quarterback as well. Just talk about maybe a little bit of schemes, how you plan to slow down their offense.
Yeah, we got to get to the quarterback. I mean, and we think we're pretty good at it. So, that's obviously going to help us, certainly with the new younger quarterback who maybe hasn't been in a lot of situations. We need to apply pressure to him and see how he's going to handle it. So he's obviously, got really good people to throw to and run the ball. They got 2 tailbacks that are very good players and make plays and can, grind out yards, but also take it 60, 50 yards and go. So, it's going to be a challenge. We know that, but, we got to apply some pressure to them from our defense to their offense, because again, that's, we're better on defense. There's no question. So, we're expecting a lot of our defense and to pressure them and see if we can get them in situations that make them feel uncomfortable.
On the flip side of that, talk about maybe some keys for your offense. How do you get things going, especially against a defense that returns a lot of solid players and one of the top defenses?
Well, obviously, it's going to start up front. We got to protect the quarterback, be able to run the ball efficiently, and then go from there. It's going to start up front. They're very good up front. I mean, they have 2 All-American D linemen, I believe, and they got a All-Conference linebacker returning, one of their captains, and they're just as good in the back end as well. So it's going to start up front, though. We're going to have to play physical football and assignment smart football too, and not let bad things affect us on next plays, because it's going to happen because they're a great football team. So we just got to keep our composure and our focus and effort, like I stated, and just go and play.
Can you give me some maybe one of your biggest keys for this weekend?
I think always when you open it up, I think it's always you want to have great ball security and you want to get some takeaways, and you want to protect the football, and then when you have the opportunity to take it away, take it away. I think that's always in game 1 when you're, got maybe some newer faces in there. Obviously, we don't have too many, which is great, but it's protecting the football and then trying to take it away when that opportunity arises on defense.